I'd like to call to order this meeting of the Village Board for June 27, 2017. Could you please join us for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Village Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Franz,
Here.
Trustee Jaworska,
Here.
Trustee Lomax,
Here.
Trustee Perez.
Here.
Oh, President DeSimone.
Here. We have a quorum. At this time, I'd like to entertain public comment. Is there anyone who would like to address the board? If so, please approach the podium and state your name. Do we have comment today?
Yes. Chester Gornak.
Right back there, Chester.
My name is Chester Gorniak. I live on Hillside Drive, and I have question for village management. When you gonna make it any meeting on Hillside Drive with the people who live over there? Because according to new regulation, quiet program or change program is means nothing happen. The airplane is landing 3 o'clock in the morning, 2:45 in the morning, and every day constantly the departure 5:45 in the morning, every 15 seconds to 7:15. So a lot of people asking, about, meet with you guys, and talking, and that's why it's my question, because I talk with people, I'm walking, they ask me,
Well, I appreciate you bringing that up, Chester. I really do.
Thank you
I was
very-
actually going to offer a brief update in the manager's report on the status of Fly Quiet, but I was also going to mention that one of the challenges that Mayor DeSimone has put towards us is to get staff as well as the administration out into the neighborhoods, meeting with residents to talk about issues exactly like that in very
Okay.
informal settings.
Okay.
So I'll do some a short. If you can hold on for a few minutes, we'll do a brief update on where we're at with that.
Okay,
I
thank you very
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chester. This will conclude our public comment. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the May 23rd, 2017 regular board meeting minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any modifications to these minutes? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. The motion carries and the minutes are approved. The next item up for business is to approve the warrant for June 27th, 2017 in the amount of $5,147,317.76. Is there a motion to approve this warrant?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second on the motion?
You have a second?
Is there any discussions of this warrant? Nancy, can I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Jaworska,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax,
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
The motion carries and the warrant is approved. So we have a huge consent agenda here. We have a total of 31 resolutions and ordinances on the consent agenda this evening. Is there a motion to approve the 31 resolutions and ordinances as identified and described on the consent agenda?
You have a motion.
Is there a second on that motion?
You have a second?
May I have the roll call, please?
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
Trustee Jaworska,
Yes.
Trustee Lomax,
Yes.
Trustee Perez.
Yes.
Quorum.
The motion carries and the items on the consent agenda are now approved. Reports of standing committees, Community and Economic Development. This is an ordinance approving a planned unit development to construct 37 single-family homes for the applicant Dubin Holding located at 770 through 830 John Street. Is there a motion to approve this ordinance?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second?
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I would like Community Development Director Scott Biger to give a brief 2-minute rundown of the process of how we've gotten here and what this ordinance is actually approving.
All right, Mr. Mayor, members of the board, it's been a long go to get to this point. I believe the petitioner first brought this to our attention as a staff back in March of 2016. Some preliminary conversations, neighborhood meetings in August, and then again in October. elicited a lot of comments. We sent out letters to 500 and some feet from the property. We had a public hearing on I should back up. We had 51 home sites when we started. We had a public hearing at the excuse me, the CDC in April of this year at 41 homes. It did not get a positive recommendation. It failed 2 to 4. After that, the developer and the staff, with the guidance of the mayor, took the comments of the CDC as well as the continuing commentary from the neighborhood, and the developer revised his plan down to 37 home sites. The lots got bigger. They're 42 feet wide. A lot of the departures or deviations from the code dropped out in these negotiations that happened after that. So the side yards meet the RS4 district, so forth. We're at a little over 5 units an acre. The RS4 goes up to 5.8 units an acre. So as we get to this point, we have 37 homes. A couple of variances thrown in the PUD on the front yard. Front yard landscaping is included, 9-foot ceilings, 3 4-bedroom homes, 2-car attached garages, and we have any questions, answer any questions. The developer is here if you have questions for him.
I do want to add
So I
that
recommend approval.
there was quite a bit of community input on this project from current board members, Panicola, President DeSimone, as well as some residents. Mike Zarnecki, I think, needs to be respected for his valuable feedback that he offered. The developer took all that and was able to eliminate a lot of the concerns. So I want to thank the developer and Mr. Dubin for accomplishing that. This is going to be the largest home start in Bensonville in recent history. I think we can all be proud of how that we've gotten to this point. There's still a lot of work ahead of us, and the fine details of those plans still need to be refined. So we're not out of the woods yet, but Mr. Dubin, we're excited for this project and look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Anybody else, any questions? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Jaworska?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 4, the motion carries.
That motion carries, and that ordinance is approved. We have no other reports from our community, or from any of our committees this evening. We have any village manager report? Oh, I got a proclamation, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna make me read?
You have a proclamation that I am going to make you read today.
Proclamation declaring July 8th Arbor Day in the village of Bensonville. Proclamation reads, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraskan Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, cool the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide a habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our village increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas the village will host an Arbor Day tree dedication ceremony on Saturday, July 8th, 2017, at 11 a.m. at the Village of Bensonville Public Works facility as part of their Public Works Open House. Now, therefore, I, Frank DeSimone, Village President, and the Board of Trustees do hereby proclaim July 8th, 2017, as Arbor Day in the Village of Bensonville, and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And further, I encourage all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations within our community. Dated this 27th day of July, 2017. Now on to village manager. Do you have any reports for us?
Can we approve that
Oh,
proclamation?
I'm sorry. Yeah, we can approve that. May I have a motion to approve that proclamation?
Do you have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Quick discussion on that. Joe, how long have we been a Tree City USA?
It's been 28 years. There was a 2-year gap in between those, but 28 years so far.
This proclamation is required, it's one of the requirements of being a Tree City USA, as well as planting trees. Joe does a great job with having the forestry department take care of that, so congratulations on doing this, and we look forward to planting trees July 8th at your open house. That's all I have, sir.
All in favor to approve this proclamation, can you say aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? This proclamation is now in full effect. Village Manager's Report, do we have one?
Yes, I want to go over a few community events as well as an update on O'Hare, and then a couple just neighborhood housekeeping items for the board and the residents to be cognizant of. First off, like I mentioned, Public Works Open House is July 8th. It's the first time we've done one of these. It's going to have a Touch a Truck event, which kids love. I know my nieces and nephews love that. They're going to be doing duck races. They're going to be showing off the new $30 million wastewater treatment plant. It's going to be free food, fun time. If you have kids who are interested, just bring them out. Doesn't have to just be Bensonville residents and kids. It's kind of open to everybody. These are a cool time to take a look behind the scenes of Public Works. And that's all I have for that. The music in the park tomorrow is the Neverly Brothers. July 4th is Liberty Fest. Also July 4th, Village Hall will be closed. It's just something that I want to make sure everyone knows. Let's go on to the Fly Quiet Test 2. As our Chester mentioned to us, Fly Quiet Test 2 hasn't really been well received. It was somewhat more designed to be an interim while it's summer and the residents have their windows open. Hopefully we can get some relief. I'll admit it largely has not worked. We have 2 more weeks of this Fly Quiet rotation test, Test 2, then we'll immediately be moving into Test 3. Test 3 is where the money at. It involves taking 1533, the long diagonal runway, out of service. We're going to test how that's going to be received. Essentially, every week it will be parallels and diagonals, parallels and diagonals. We're hoping that the air traffic controllers will be able to understand that it's pretty easy to flip parallels versus diagonals, and it's something we can stick to. We've had quite a bit of opposition from the communities in the south on this. The communities east and west, including the city of Chicago, have been supportive of this. This will put more traffic over some of our neighbors, such as Elmhurst, but it'll also put some traffic over our southern communities in town, like Brentwood's neighborhood. We're going to test it out, see how it goes. I'm optimistic for Test 3. Test 2 was a disaster. I apologize. It just didn't work for whatever reasons. We'll have our local consultants, JDA, through SOC, analyze what exactly went wrong with that, and hopefully we can fix those mistakes. Test 3 will be what will become the long-term interim period until the new northern airfields are built out. 1533 will come out. The only way we're going to get real sincere relief is by building those northern airfields, and the northern airfield requires the long diagonal to come out. So Bensonville's always been supportive of building northern airfield out, and hopefully this will be the means to the ends. Does the board have any questions on the Fly Quiet test? I know we haven't really talked about it in a while. I wanna do some more
How long
discussion.
will test 3 be?
Test 3 will be a 12-week test, same amount of length that Test 2 was. Initially, we wanted a 24-week test that would be substantial. To get the votes to get it passed, we had to break it into 2 separate tests. I don't know if that was ideal. It wasn't as long as that first test, which I think most people think the first test did have some significance. So hopefully Test 3 will get those positive changes that we've been looking for.
And Test 3, you said it starts when?
Immediately after Test 2, so it'll be the middle of July. We have 2 more weeks of Test 2 left.
Any other questions?
If they don't follow it, are we going to monitor this?
There will have to be a vote to adopt the interim plan, which will be the 2-year plan of rotation test. If it doesn't, Test 3 doesn't work, our options are limited. It goes back to the status quo, which is the long runways will be used every night. We'll probably be able to tweak a little bit there. We were very optimistic. We're going to be doing week-by-week monitoring of Test 3, so we can try to make some changes in that short 12-week window that we have.
Update on the Mohawk noise monitor?
There are 3 noise monitors being put in by CDA this summer. We were the first ones to get it approved. They're kind of, in the infinite wisdom of Chicago, they're not moving until the other 2 noise monitors have been approved by local communities. Itasca is the last holdout. Itasca has indicated they're close to approving. Our permits, we've issued the permits for that, Scott? Is that correct? I believe we've issued the permits for it. It's ready to go up. It should be a 1-day installation. We're just waiting on Itasca to approve theirs.
Any other?
Finally, in the neighborhood issues, if I can touch on those. It's summertime. It's been pretty wet. Lawns are getting pretty long. If you guys can please encourage your neighbors as well as your own self to get out there and mow the lawns. I don't like mowing lawns, I'll admit it, but we need to keep the neighborhoods looking sharp. So if you guys do have chronically long grass in your neighbor's lawn or wherever you see it, let community development know. We have a system to try to rectify those without being too harsh. And then finally, like I said, Mayor DeSimone has asked us to get out in the community more. So keep an eye on our website and social media. as well as stay connected with us just in general, give us calls. We're gonna try to do something new where do mobile field office hours with the mayor. We'll get out there, we'll have a booth, be able to come up, interact with us, have some coffee, have some lemonade. We wanna make this more of an informal setting. These settings of Chester having to walk back to the microphone and talk to us from 40 feet away probably isn't the most personal setting that we can do. So it's the way that we can get more into the neighborhoods and more into the community. So, yes, sir?
Mr. Evans, talking about, monitoring system. A long time ago, not long time ago, but before you coming new to the village, trustee and president, Frank Soto, he promised us to build a monitoring system on Mohawk area, okay? Because we are not interested in build up monitoring system in Itasca, which means 10 miles away from us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Chester, we have it
We
approved.
gotta get the
It's
Mohawk
coming.
noise monitor.
There's
Yes.
approval already,
Yeah, we approved it. It's coming. We're just waiting for Itasca to
Itasca
approve
has to
theirs.
approve a separate one.
Remember, Mr. Frankie, there was, the subject was disappeared, nobody talking about it, that's why I'm concerned.
Yeah, we are definitely approved it. We approved it a few weeks ago, right?
I speak with the woman in charge of the noise monitor system on a weekly basis. She's the first call I make on Mondays usually, and she's probably really annoyed by hearing me. But it's Itasca that we're waiting on. I've called Itasca. They said they're ready to approve it any day now. So once Itasca approves theirs, that means we get the Mohawk monitor. And it'll be a permanent monitor. It won't be a temporary one.
That's what we need, thank you.
Right. I would really like to get that monitor in before test 3 begins so we can try to see some difference. It's the left hand and the right hands with the Chicago Department of Aviation don't always talk to each other. That concludes the manager's report.
Thank you, sir. Village Attorney's report?
Mr. President and members of the board, I ask that the board consider these items when we.
Real quick,
Executive session.
because we need 5 votes for Mr. Dubin's plan to be approved because it wasn't upheld, can we go back and have Mr. DeSimone cast a vote?
It's my understanding that we needed 2/3 vote of the membership of the village board, to approve the condition of the.
So is that of the,
Community Development Committee in accordance with 10-38-9 of the village code. Am I misunderstanding that? Two-thirds is 4 votes.
of the 7-member
No, it's membership of the village board.
of the village board? Okay.
Right, it's not the corporate
I'm sorry
authority.
to step on your toes. but
No, no,
it's
that's,
not the It's not the whole village, the mayor doesn't count. as
Okay.
the village.
Just want to make sure that we're not,
that's
we
why I let it go
address
through.
everything. Okay. So we're good on the legal side and we're good on Mr. Dubin's side?
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm good. I apologize for the insurrection.
That's okay. So I would ask that those 2 items be deferred from the committee in order for us to go into executive session to discuss them.
Okay. Is there any unfinished business to come before the board tonight?
I have none.
Is there any new business to come before the board tonight?
I have none.
I understand that there is a need for executive session to discuss pending litigation under 5 ILCS 120/2C11 and personnel issues under 5 ILCS 120/2C1. Is there a motion to enter into executive session to discuss pending litigation and personnel?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Please call the roll, please.
Trustee Franz,
Yes.
trustee Jaworska,
Yes.
trustee Lomax,
Yes.
trustee Perez.
Yes.
That's 4. The motion carries.
Motion carries and the board will go into executive session. I would also like to advise the public that final action will be taken at the conclusion of the closed portion of the meeting on the 2 items identified under the village attorney's report in section 9 of the agenda. So can I have a motion to adjourn into executive session? Or recessing into executive session, I apologize.
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are going to recess into executive session. We have now returned from executive session. Village clerk, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Franz,
Here.
trustee Jaworska,
Here.
trustee Lomax,
Here.
trustee Perez.
Here.
2, 3, 4. The motion carries. Oh, President's,
Here.
oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. We will now consider items number 1 and 2 under the village attorney's report under section 9 of the agenda. It's ordinance of the Village of Bettsville, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois, authorizing an employment agreement with Evan K. Summers as village manager. Is there a motion to approve the ordinance authorizing an employment agreement with Evan K. Summers as village manager?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Can I have the roll call, please?
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Jaworska?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
President DeSimone? Okay, 4, the motion carries.
The motion carries and the ordinance is now approved.
I appreciate your consideration. Thank you, guys.
Welcome aboard. Number
Thanks.
2, resolution of the Village of Bettsville, DuPage, and Cook Counties, Illinois, authorizing the settlement of various workers' compensation claims. Is there a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the settlement of various workers' compensation claims?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
There being a motion and a second, is there any discussion? Please call the roll.
Trustee Franz?
Yes.
Trustee Jaworska?
Yes.
Trustee Lomax?
Yes.
Trustee Perez?
Yes.
That's 4, the motion carries.
This motion carries and it has been approved. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
You have a motion?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. All opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Aye.
The motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.